Big Les's League, an all rugby league experience.
Hello, welcome back to Big Les's League and all rugby league experience. Make sure if you haven't already to go ahead and click the subscribe button to become a part of the Big Les's League community. We're going to be talking about the Roosters today. Obviously, some big news surrounding the Roosters with Sam Walker, Brandon Smith and Victor Radley's seasons set to be over. Does this mean that the Roosters season is over too? Obviously, Sam Walker has been the second best halfback in the competition. He's been a big part as to why they've been winning games of football. They've gotten used to his style of play. They've played off the back of his style of play. And as a result, they've had one of the best attacks in the competition. They've got the best for and against in the competition as well. You got to admit there are plenty of other guys as well in this Roosters side that do generate that spark. Manu, Tedesco, Luke Keary's been doing some decent work this season as well. You've got the forwards in Terrell May, Spencer Leniu, all of these guys. You've got plenty of stars throughout this side, but I think Sam Walker's the key to the cake. If they're to go and win a premiership, Sam Walker needs to be in this side. Sam Walker, unfortunately, has done his ACL, so he's going to be out for the next 9 months. Also, Victor Radley, he has broken his scapula. He's going to be out for a while. He needs to get a reconstruction, I believe, on that shoulder. And then we've also got Brandon Smith, where he went off the field. They assessed him. They thought it was a syndesmosis injury. They later, determined that the pain was actually coming up higher in the knee. And now we're hearing today, on Monday when we're recording this podcast, that it looks like he's going to be out for the season with an ACL injury. And that will obviously take the 9 months. He's going to have to get a reconstruction on that as well. Devastating news there for both Brandon Smith, Sam Walker, and obviously Victor Radley. But I think Brandon Smith, having him out of this side as well, Sam Walker, Victor Radley, those are very important guys to your side. Defensively, what Victor Radley does on that edge, also attacking-wise, he's very, very good. He comes in for good hit-ups. He gets through plenty of work through the forwards. You've got Sam Walker, who, as I said, pretty much runs the side. They play off the back of what he does as well, getting used to a new halfback. Going into a final series, I think is just going to be a little bit difficult for the Roosters, especially if they do drastically change the way that they play and Luke Keary becomes the 7 with Manu in the 6, which we'll talk about that in a second. But then also Brandon Smith, he's gotten used to, a bit of a combination with James Tedesco. He sort of just started to get used to being a 9 as well and, being a good 9 at that. His form this season when he's been playing has been quite good. And, he's been playing more like a 9 at the start of the year. I wasn't convinced that 9 was his best position. I'm slowly starting to get more and more convinced that that is the way moving forward for Brandon Smith, being in that number 9 jersey, starting the game there at least. But it is big outs. Obviously, it looks like Connor Watson will take that number 9 role. Sandon Smith, it looks like he's going to come into the side. He's got an ankle injury, which he sustained in New South Wales Cup. We don't know the severity of it. We'll obviously find out the severity of it going into the week. But the Roosters are pretty confident that he's going to be okay. But do you risk a guy like Sandon Smith, who is injured coming into this side? Are you going to have the guys to cover him as well if he does go down mid-game? Is it safer to go with Luke Keary at 7 and then put Manu into the number 6, have him playing on that right-hand side like he did it for the Roosters on the weekend, but playing in that number 6 sort of role, roaming both sides of the ruck? I think that it's a good thing for Manu as well. He gets plenty of more touches as well over the football. I think that it's very beneficial for the Roosters that a guy like Manu does get plenty of touches of the football. He trains the whole week at 6 and then comes in as a 6 and does a great job. We've seen what he can do at 6 as well on a number of occasions for the Roosters. I think that it's a good move. And I think that as well, you're not changing too much about the style of play. I think that Luke Keary does like to take control of things anyway. So just having him in that number 7 role, I don't mind it. I think that it's what the Roosters went with, obviously, on the weekend when obviously all these guys were ruled out one by one. They did end up playing that style of footy. So most likely we're going to see Watson in. We're going to see Manu going into the number 6 role. In regards to who comes in at centre, Junior Bulger might come in. Billy Smith looks like he's ready to go. He played at New South Wales Cup on the weekend, so he's back. Whether Trent Robinson wants to bring him straight into the side, we'll have to wait and see. You'd think that Suwali would then go to right centre. So you'd have Suwali and Dom Young on the right side with Billy Smith and Daniel Tupou on the left. It's not a bad back line. The depth that the Roosters actually have is crazy. And as I said, you saw how good Manu has played at 6 in the past. Kiri there in the 7, who's been there all year. The experience that he has, I'm sure that they're going to be okay. Can they win a grand final with this side for me, going up against a Melbourne, going up against a Penrith, going up against even the Dogs? It's going to be a lot more difficult without Smith, Radley, and most importantly, Sam Walker, who, as I said, was very, very close. Dally M halfback of the year. If Jerome Hughes didn't have the season that he just had, Sam Walker would be the Dally M halfback of the year. So having him out of the side is going to be huge, but you got to look at the Roosters' depth here, what they have waiting, in the ranks to come into this side as well. In regards to who goes into the back row, I think Butcher goes back into the back row there for Radley on that right side. You might see Nafa'u White go into 13. You might see, it really depends on what they want to do. Maybe a Zach Docker-Clay goes into 13 and plays the role that Connor Watson was playing as well. I think most likely it's going to be Nafa'u White. Docker-Clay will probably come onto the bench if Sandon Smith is starting or if he's available. He's going to go in there as well. But if the truth is of the matter that Sandon Smith is injured and he can't play, Zach Docker-Clay is probably the guy to come in there for the Roosters. So definitely a lot to think about. They've been hit hard here. 3 injuries that are season ending in one weekend is just gnarly. But as I said, I guess the best thing here for the Roosters is they've got the depth to cover it. But can this depth win a grand final? That's going to be the real test. Let me know what you think in the comment section below. What does this Roosters side look like for you going into the next few weeks? How does this Roosters lineup 1 to 17 shape up? And do you think that 17 can win a grand final without Sam Walker, without Brandon Smith, and without Victor Radley? Let me know in the comment section below. As I said, make sure to subscribe down here, become a part of the Big Les's League community, and we will see you guys in the next one.